Amy Coney Barrett's been confirmed. Woohoo! But does that mean women are going to have to go back to the alleys to get an abortion? Welcome back to Bible Bears, everyone. I'm Ryder Cullison. So, Amy Coney Barrett's been confirmed to the Senate. She's a Catholic conservative. There's big talk about her possibly being instrumental in overturning Roe v. Wade and outlawing abortions, which basically overturning Roe v. Wade would overturn the federal law. It would then go to the states to decide whether to have abortion, and I believe right now there's 30 states that would not give access to abortion. I'm not really sure. What I really want to talk about today, though, is this belief that women will start to die by the thousands if abortion is outlawed. Guys, before we get into this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and bell notification so that you will be alerted when I post new videos. Now, I touched upon this briefly in a video I did about Stevie Nicks. There's a link up here so you can check that out. Now, Stevie Nicks said, well, if Trump gets reelected and he puts in the Supreme Court justice that he wants, that will push women back into back alley abortions. Now, is this belief prevalent? Well, as recently as 2019, Leanna Wen, who was then the medical director for Planned Parenthood, she's a doctor, she said, before Roe v. Wade, thousands of people died every year because they didn't have access to safe, legal abortion. Also in 2019, she said, we face a real situation where Roe could be overturned. And we know what will happen, which is that women will die. Thousands of women died every year pre-Roe v. Wade. Here's a quick aside. Leanna Wen is no longer medical director of Planned Parenthood. Why? She was fired. She was fired because she wasn't aggressive enough in pushing abortion. See, Wen, to her credit, wanted to push other health services that Planned Parenthood offers, such as contraception. She wanted to give women avenues not to get abortion, but that didn't fit into Planned Parenthood's business model because their bread and butter is abortion. So she got the axe. Now, Leanna Wen is not the only person to suggest this. California Democratic Senator Barbara Boxer also suggested that the number that's commonly put out of number of deaths by legal abortion is 5,000. That's the common number. She suggested that that number was probably low because of how many abortions were done in unsanitary conditions. So, we have this belief that women will end up going into a back alley where some disgusting looking man, overweight, long hair, big hairy chest, sweating, grease all over him, and he will take a coat hanger and you know what comes next. And yes, this is a common belief. Here we've got some protesters protesting with their coat hanger signs because that was a myth that was perpetuated. Now, I'm not suggesting no woman ever tried to do that, or that no woman ever threw herself down the stairs, or tried to drink a fifth of liquor to abort her baby. What I am saying is that this idea that women by the dozens will be lining up at a rusty steel metal door in a back alley next to a flaming oil can with hobos all around is false. Leanna Wen's quotes about thousands of women dying every year pre-Roe v. Wade was actually given 4 Pinocchios by the Washington Post. You see, back in the 30s, maybe even the 40s, yes, possibly thousands of women died, but as medical practices became more sound, with the rise of antibiotics such as penicillin, doctors were better aware of how to stem infections. That number dropped dramatically. By 1965, the National Center for Health Statistics reported that there were a total of 235 deaths from abortion nationwide. That was back in 1965. By 1972, according to the CDC, fewer than 92 legal or illegal deaths occurred. Less than 100. So far cry from the thousands that is still being perpetuated today. That was 1972. We've come a long way. Dr. Malcolm Potts, who was medical director of the International Planned Parenthood, this is years ago, he said, those who want the law to be liberalized, the law meaning the abortion law, they will stress the hazards of illegal abortion and claim that hundreds or thousands of women die unnecessarily each year when the number is far lower. In 1959, Dr. Mary Steichen Calderon, she was the medical director for Planned Parenthood then. She said, look, 90% of all illegal abortions were performed by trained physicians. This is why the number has declined. These aren't auto mechanics in a back alley performing these abortions. They're trained physicians. She also continued by saying, abortion, whether therapeutic or illegal, is in the main no longer dangerous because it is being done well by physicians. The Washington Post in 2019 said, this is the Washington Post, which is very liberal. It's unlikely, if Roe v. Wade were repealed, that the number of women who would die from abortion-related procedures would surpass the number of women who died before the advent of antibiotics. What they're basically saying is, there might be illegal abortions continuing if Roe v. Wade is repealed. But there's not going to be 5,000. They're not going to be performed in back alleys. They're going to be performed by trained physicians. They're going to be performed in clinics where it's likely clean and sanitary. Now, there are exceptions to every rule. Dr. Kermit Gosnell, and I use that doctor loosely, he performed, how many was it? Hundreds, thousands of abortions over a period of years. And these are basically what you would consider a back alley abortion in his house. But it was legal because of the abortion laws protected him. And yet, apparently, at the time of his arrest, he had a 15-year-old acting as anesthesiologist. He would deliver full-term babies and then cut their spinal cords. This guy's in jail. This went on for years because he was protected by the law. If the law was repealed, people like that who were performing true back alley style abortions, they would have gone to jail. They would have lost the protection. Look, I understand the situation that repealing Roe v. Wade might put many women in. I have a daughter. It might put me in the same situation. I get it. What we need to be doing here is, 1, acting more responsible. This isn't the end of the world. Women and men can be responsible. We're all adults. Act with wisdom. Act with responsibility. Don't engage in intimate relationships that could lead toward pregnancy. Now, the old-fashioned thing that Christians say to do, which I'm an advocate of, wait till marriage. Then you have a baby within wedlock. Problem solved. Abstain from any intimacy outside of marriage. Problem solved. That solves a lot of other problems other than just abortion. A lot of other problems. Or at least use contraception. That will solve most of your problems. You've got a bevy of solutions there where you don't have to go and terminate your pregnancy. You don't have to go and terminate your child's life. So just be responsible. And you know what? Don't drink, because that just increases your chances of making poor decisions. All we're asking for is people to be adults and responsible. Abortion can't always be a get out of jail free card. Listen, guys, what do you think? Are back alley abortions real? Is this going to push women into dumpsters, into seedy places where Batman villains might get cosmetic surgery? Tell me what you think below. I'd love to hear your comments. Am I just being insensitive to women? You know what? Put that down below as well. As always, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that bell notification so that you will be alerted when I post new videos. And as always, have a blessed week.